Uh, all right. So it is 12 o'clock, 12:01 actually. We are going to get started. I see we have a few people on. You can if you would, shoot a hello in the chat. Wasn't sure about these numbers up here. I don't know if the one meant just me or if it was other people, but looks like there's other people on. That's awesome. That's awesome. I think this is a good time. And then again, we'll be back for a second edition of this live this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Uh, to be available for others who can't make it here at this time. Hey, hey, hey. Um, yeah, before we get started, just some quick housekeeping, I guess. If this is your new time here, first time with us, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Uh, it's not your first time. Feel free to like, or likes help a lot. So feel free to like, feel free to comment, not only in the chat, but after the live is over. Your comments are awesome too. They also help with, you know, helping the video get out there, helping the recording get out there. If you were watching the recording of this, also hit the like button and also comment. The comments, they help us also, they help us, but the expressing of that which you are inspired to, the expressing of that which comes to you as a result of this interaction, you're actually reaffirming that to yourself. That way you don't lose it. You get the aha moments, or you get that knowledge that comes through based on your life's journey that's specific to you, but then it can get away from you. But when you comment, if you take an action, if you type it in or you write it down for yourself, whatever it is, you solidify it just a little bit more. So, the commenting is twofold. Your comments also help others that come along after and read, and they can see what you were inspired to, and it can help them be inspired as well. It may trigger something for them. So, this is a circle, this is a flow. Each one is a collaborative component of the other, and that which you put into the ethers, whether it's a vibrational expression or physical action, is going outward and connects with others. So always remember that. That's awesome. Um, Also, if you're new, be sure to check the description for ways you can connect. We have a few free offerings that are going to be in the description uh, once the recording is up. First, check out the greatest misconception. You can go to the greatestmisconceptions.com, where there's a free presentation on the three greatest misconceptions on this path, about this path of growth and expansion that we're on. The second is also a presentation at accelerated-evolution.com. And there's a short presentation on the three attention shifts that you have to make in order to know that you're on the path of growth and expansion, firmly working at your foundation, at your core. If you're not clear about the three attention shifts, and if you listen to it and you haven't specifically made those three attention shifts, then you're kind of wavering. You're not exactly working at your foundation, which means that your growth and expansion is going to be drawn out over a long period of time because you're not working at your foundation. So check out those two presentations. And once you check out those two presentations, if you're inspired, click the button at the bottom and schedule your free ascension session. In the ascension session, it's free, and we help you with whatever your highest intention is at the moment. And also during that session, we give you a free tour, give you a tour of the Ascension Accelerator, a private community where we work closely with individuals just like you, offering the tools, the interaction, the community, the camaraderie that accelerates this process. We're still working on the words to be able to describe how that community is impacting the people that's in there now. We haven't even been up for a year, but their growth and expansion has accelerated, and they communicated every time we have a question and answer. Where they're talking about how things are different and how they're not the same person even from a week ago. So you want to get information on that and see if that's something that you're inspired to connect with us on now or prepare for it in the future. But all of that will be in the description. Again, we're appreciative, highly appreciative, excited for each of you who are here and participating, and just excited to be of support. And another thing, when you watch the videos or you connect with us, feel free to share. Each of you have channels on YouTube, and if you're inspired to, feel free to share any of the videos or any of these programs that you have access to onto your channels. It helps spread the word. Um, if you're inspired to, everything if you're inspired, everything if you are inspired. If you're not inspired, don't do it. If you are inspired, make sure you do it quickly. Act on your inspirations. So this is, let's see what we're talking about today. We're talking about the idea of remembering your mastery. Remembering your mastery. You're already a master. You're already a master of creation. There's nothing really that you need to learn. You just need to become aware that you're doing it. You just need to become aware that you're doing it. You're already a master. When you look outside yourself, wherever you are, whether you're at home with your family, with your spouse or partner, when you leave your home or you go to a store or you go to your jobs or your careers or whatever it is that you're doing in that present moment, all you have to do is look around you and you see your creations. First and foremost, not the creation of any specific thing, but how the experience feels. The feeling of your experience is the first thing we want you to begin to recognize. The feeling of your experience. Is the experience full of, is it evidence of frustration? Is it stressful? Is it angry? Is it joyful? Is it happy? Is it loving? Is it exciting? This is what we want you to look for first in that which is appearing outside of you, because that gives evidence to that which you have been expressing. And you quickly know. Yeah, I was frustrated, highly frustrated last week. And I remember it kind of lingered for hours. I was in that state for hours or days. Or I remember this happened and we had a fantastic time. And in the days after, yeah, I remember meeting people, talking to strangers, having beautiful conversations, having excellent interactions. Things happened in my experience that aren't normal, but were beautiful. The feel, the color of the experience. This is the first thing that we want you to recognize, that you're already creating. And the first thing you're creating with is how you feel, is the vibration that you are offering, your energy signature, the frequencies that you are in and that you are expressing. Now, most of you are on the roller coaster of expression, high and low, because you are being triggered. The source of your expression is external. It's outside of you. When this happens, it makes you feel a certain way. When this happens, it makes you feel a certain way. This, and you're excited and happy. This, and you're frustrated or you're angry. And so there's no consistency, because your ebb and flow is a result of that which is occurring outside of you. And so you're in a cycle of highs and lows, which is why every next present moment is hard to decipher, because you have been expressing highs and lows based on that which is occurring outside of you. And so that which is appearing in front of you is sometimes high, sometimes low, sometimes what you call good, and sometimes what you call not so good. Which is why when you become aware that you are creating, when you accept the fact, the responsibility that you are creating, and you begin to look inward for what? For the process, for the creative process that is occurring inside of you, the first thing we suggest is to look to the feeling. because the feeling you are offering colors and coats your experience in every next present moment. Not jump straight into this is what I desire, this is what I am intending, this physical thing is what I'm wanting to create. No, look to the feeling that you are offering consistently. Begin to offer, be consistent at offering a specific level of vibration. Begin to be consistent at offering joy. Begin to be consistent at offering excitement. Try to begin to be consistent at just being peaceful, being at peace with yourself, no matter what's happening around you. Again, this is before you have an intention. This is before you have a desired manifestation. And then begin to watch. Watch what? Watch that which begins to manifest inside of you. So many are so focused on that which is appearing outside of them and calling that manifestation, thinking that this is the only evidence. That which is appearing outside of you is not the first evidence of manifestation. That which is occurring and appearing inside of you is the first evidence of manifestation. When you begin to focus on just being at peace, you begin to attract more peaceful thought patterns that are more in alignment with that feeling, with that color. When you begin to focus on just being at peace and you begin to strive to be consistent at that offering, the emotions that flow through are more peaceful emotions. You begin to weed out the frustration, the anger. You begin to weed out the excitement, the explosive excitement as a result of things happening outside of you. And you're able to be more at peace. You're able to remain more centered. Because, yes, even being too high can take you off center, just like being too low can take you off center, can disrupt your clear thinking, can disrupt your clarity, can disrupt your focus. And when you get into that peaceful state, when you begin to look inward for the creative process, you see that you've been creating all along. Nothing in your external experience has not been affected by that which you are offering. Everything in your external experience is a reflection of you. Everything is a collaborative component of that which you are offering, of that which you are expressing. And we know that is daunting. That is daunting. It can be scary. Many who are not ready for that understanding will fight you on it. Why would I ever choose this terrible thing? Why would I ever choose this trauma? Why would I ever choose this to happen as a child? You have to remember that you're here for the creation of experience. You're not here to dictate what's good and what's bad and what's right and what's wrong. Source doesn't do that. You're here for the creation of experience. And this is not your first lifetime, any of you. This is not your first lifetime. This is not the only plane of existence you have existed on. You're here for the creation of experience. No matter the energy or the vibration you are in or offering, no matter the nature of your inner makeup, your mental frames, whether they are born of low vibration or whether you were raised in a high vibrational existence that cultivated high vibration and your thought patterns are of such. No matter where you find yourself, you are creating experience, which gets logged away in the Akashic, which gets logged away specific to you, that you will evaluate once you make your transition, and then you will decide on the next. You have always been creating. You have always been choosing. You were choosing before you entered into your physical body. So let's let that rest and look now that you are here and see and begin to take the highest level of responsibility that you can take in and over your life, which is empowering, which leads you to your power. which leads you to begin to question, okay, well, if I have been conditioned, if I have been programmed to this point, who am I without the programming? What is the truth of me in source absent of the programming? This is the question that you begin to ask. These are the questions that you begin to ask. And these are the questions that fuel you moving forward in your growth and expansion as you begin to unravel the mind, as you begin to be more consistent in your intended offering of vibrational expression, no longer playing the game of being triggered by outside forces, no longer playing the game of placing your locale of power outside of you, but recognizing that it is inside of you. And that all that you have ever felt has come from you. It wasn't placed inside of you by your parents or your boss or your wife or your husband. The feelings weren't placed inside of you, they were already there. Which means that you can access, which means that now, as an intention, as an intender, as one who is aspiring to be a powerful conscious creator, you can access and begin to express any state of being that you desire now. You can access it. The states of being that align you with that which you are intending to create, you can access them now. This is not something that you have to go buy at the store. This is not something that you have to wait on someone to give you, that you have to prove yourself worthy of. You can access them now because they are there. Because all is in source. And you are source, which means all is inside of you now. You can access the confidence. You can access the strength. You can access that which is called fearlessness. You can access the power. You can access the beauty. You can access the love that's free of conditions and expectations. You can access anything that aligns you with the experiences that you desire so that you can quickly become that, understanding that when you become a thing, when you become the expresser of that which you are intending, it has to materialize around you. You're already a master. Many of you are masters of creating that which you do not desire because that which what you have been focused on to this point. But if you continue down this path, you will continue to unravel the mind. You will continue to get more clear and become more focused on that which you must be in order to create that which you desire to have and experience. And the ability to do that will grow just as their muscles grow when you consistently exercise. And we are here to support you in accelerating that process. You're already a master. You just have to be more aware, more conscious of that which you are doing, of that which is occurring on the inside, and begin to really rein that in so that you can be intentional on that which is occurring on the inside, so that you are more aligned with that which you intend to create externally. If you have questions on that which has been offered, if you have questions that you have been inspired to based on that which has been offered, based on the energies that have been expressed, we are open to them now. Hey, Andrea. Yeah. Any questions? Any comments? Just throw them in the chat, and we will go from there. Yeah. Yeah. So the question is, we talked about being off center when you are excited. Can you go into some examples or too high? Yeah, think about it. It's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing as being low or being angry or being frustrated. And in that feeling, in that energy, how your decision making can be off, how your perception of the world, how your perception of life that is appearing in front of you can be skewed by the frequencies that you're in, right? Your perception is skewed because of the high, fast moving energy. Even if it's anger, anger is an action, it's low vibrational, but it's fast moving, it's strong, and it colors your perception, it colors your understanding. And many of us have made not great decisions in that energy. Well, it's the same thing for being excited. People have made not great decisions being too excited. Energy is moving real fast, for that colors your perception as well. That colors how you interpret life as well. Being too excited in a circumstance, too excited in a situation. And that's what we mean. Let's see. Mm, don't really have a specific example on that at the moment. It's just the idea that when one is really, really high or really, really low, your perception is skewed. But when you're at peace, like when you're in a meditative state, think about a meditative state. Say you have been sitting for a moment and you are watching your breathing, or you have focused your attention on a specific place in the body, or you have focused your attention on a subtle sound. And because you have focused your attention, the mind has slowed down and it has quieted, if you will. Not necessarily quiet, but you focus the mind on a thing. And so, therefore, the random thought happenings have ceased because you have given the mind something to focus on. And how do you feel in those moments? That is when you are most centered, that is when you are most clear. And in those moments, you're not really, really low anger, frustration, and all of those type ideas. You're also not really, really high. You're not excited. You're not like laughing profusely. And the speed and type of energies that would be present and moving within and through the body in that from that position. You're not in either of those when you're in meditation and you have your attention focused on a thing. That is the optimal state, right? Again, no good, bad, right, wrong on either one of the sides, but as one who is aspiring to be a powerful conscious creator, you have to understand that your optimal state, your optimal position for view of the world, for pers- interpreting of events as they occur in front of you, is the centered state and the peace of the energies, the peace of the flow that is present within you when you are in that position. That's the optimal position. If you can imagine a lake at midnight with the moonlight shining on it and it is still, that's the optimal position. That's what we mean in this regard. That is the optimal position. That is being centered. That is where you are clear. That is where you are able to focus. That is where you're able to perceive life in the highest fashion that is appearing in front of you. That is where you want to make your decisions from. That is where you want to speak from when you're having a disagreement with your spouse or partner, or you are communicating to your children, or you are in a meeting at your job, or you're in a negotiation in your business. That is the place that you want to be in. Does that make sense? Yes. Yes. Fast moving, poor decisions. Yes. Awesome. Awesome. Let's see. Jerome, what are some good ways to notice true messaging guidance from your higher self or source? Good ways to notice true messaging. Well, let's see. The first thing to understand is that you're always being guided. You're always being messaged, if you will, by those in support of you, by family. It's just that you're not perceiving them. And that's a vibrational thing. That is a It's mostly a vibrational thing. It's mostly a frequency thing. It's also a an awareness thing, right? It's also an awareness thing. So the first thing is to understand that you're constantly being supported. And if you were one who was attuned to, if you were one who was in the vibration consistently to receive, you would be able to perceive that. So the first thing to do is to understand that you're constantly being communicated to. There's no specific time or place that it happens, so that your antennas are always up. Your antenna are always up. Okay. Second is to play with, interestingly enough, being in that still position, because you have to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. Play in being in that still position. Play in being in that meditative state where the lake is still. And you have your attention, you have the attention of your mind focused on a specific thing, whether it's your breathing, whether it's you can hear the air condition blowing or the wind blowing, whatever it is that you place your attention on. Understand, let's make this clarification. You don't silence the mind, you can't, because your mind is connected to the mind of humanity. And so sometimes the thoughts that flow in and through your mind at random are yours, and sometimes they're not yours, because you're connected to the whole at all times. But what you can do is you can focus the mind. When you place your attention on a specific thing, it shuts down the chatter. So when you're in that meditative state and you're holding the lake still, and you have your attention on a thing, whether it's your breathing or the air moving, the wind blowing, the water running, whatever it is, you have your attention clearly focused on a thing. Now you have shut down the movement of the mind. But these are still physical, and you're not physical, you're non physical with this physical body now. So as you're holding your attention on a thing, your awareness is expanded. You have expanded your awareness beyond your body to the point where you can now perceive any communication that is not the mind, because you have focused the mind on a specific thing. So your mind is focused on a thing, and your awareness is open, and your antenna are up, and now you're just being aware, and you're asking if anyone. I'm practicing this thing. I'm practicing being more aware of the communication, of the support for me, from all of you who love me, from all of you who are in support of me. And I'm open to any communication that to be offered. and you're still, you have your mind, your attention focused on a thing, and your awareness is expanded and open to perceive any communication. This is what you have to do in the initial. This is what Benny did in the initial until he became more comfortable, more aware, and it became a normal thing to perceive the communication. This is not something that's limited to anybody. All of you are capable of it, right? But you have to grow into it. It has not been true and real for you to this point. Once it begins to be true and real and you believe it and you get those first few tastes of connecting to it, it more and more becomes the norm. So that's how we suggest you go about it. In quiet, do those things, be aware, ask for it from those who love you and those who are tasked to be in support of you, and just notice the direction that it comes from. Notice if it's just a random thought that squeaks through even though you're holding your attention, or if it's a sentence, or if it's a clear communication, like if we were sitting in front of each other having a conversation and somebody spoke communication to you, right? You're like, wow, that was like a sentence. That was like someone was talking to me. And if you can, once it finishes, write it down or be ready to type it out for those of you who can type effectively, efficiently, and then read it after. And if it's clear and you know that it wasn't you thinking, come back again at another time. Do the same thing. Continue to play with it. Continue to play with it until you begin to find it. That's what we suggest. Yeah. When I'm too excited, really excited, it's hard to focus and make it. Yeah, yeah. That's the definition of off center. Awesome, awesome. So does that mean we have to allow the excitement that comes from a high place to subside before we act on it? Allow it to subside before you act on it. What you want to do in those situations is just to make sure that you're clear, right? Make sure that you're clear and make sure that you're not being moved in a certain direction by the energies alone. This is where being intentional comes in. When you're intentional and you are excited, well, let's say this also. Being excited and in a place where those energies are moving fast through you is not the same as being inspired, right? Being inspired, you probably know what that feels like to be moved and to be urged in a certain direction, or to be moved or to be urged to do something. And that is different from that energy, that fast moving energy of excitement. You can be excited coming from a good movie. You can be excited getting off a roller coaster, but that doesn't mean you were inspired to do something, right? Those are two different things. When you're making a decision, you want to look for the inspiration. You want to be clear and be intentional on whatever the goal is, and then make decisions based on how you were moved, knowing that you are moving in the direction of that which has been intended. Yeah, that's where the intention comes in. That is the overarching idea to which you are moving toward. That's how you begin to be more clear on that which you are inspired to do, because you know that it is in alignment with the direction you are moving. Excitement doesn't do that. That's not the same thing. We hope that makes sense. Yeah, anchoring the mind. That's exactly what that is, anchoring the mind. When you give your mind something to focus on, right? I was asking the questions of things years ago, and that's where it comes into the working at your foundation. When you're working at your foundation, you discover the why of things. And once you have the why of things, you understand that no specific thing may be the right thing for you right now, but you understand why. Just like meditation, there's so many different types of meditations out there, but you have to understand with even with meditation what you're doing. Meditation, you are giving the mind something to focus on. You are relaxing yourself so that you are centered and clear, right? Whether you trying to make a decision, trying to decide where you want to go to eat, where you want to go on vacation, or making a decision in your business, you want to be clear, or you want to just relax and be at peace and allow the body to be free of any anxiety that you may have felt or stress that you may have felt during the day. Whatever the meditation is for, you want to understand that you're just focusing the mind and relaxing the body. And that is a powerful place. But when you understand the why of meditation, then you can be okay and at peace with when you no longer are inspired to do this meditation, you're inspired to do this one. That's fine. That's fine. Because you're still doing the same thing basically, but now this meditation, there may be something in this one that moves you a little further down the road in your growth and expansion. If you've noticed on this path, things change, right? 3, 4 weeks, a month, you may be doing a certain practice, and then this one may come along that you're inspired to, and then you start doing this one. And then 6 months, you may be doing a different one. That's fine because you're still moving down the path of your growth and expansion, even though this changed to this, to that, to this. It's all on purpose. They're all leading you down. You're still moving down the same path, which is your life's journey, gaining knowledge, wisdom, understanding along the way. Pushing away from my situation to change. Yeah, you have to be careful about pushing, trying to get things to happen versus allowing them to occur with the most perfect timing. But there's a lot of details in that. And the details, first and foremost, are that which is within you that is resisting that which you are desiring to create, that which you are intending. Working at your foundation, there's two things, right? And we've already kind of talked about them. There's the energy that you're offering, your vibration, consistently, and the contents of your mind. In order to accelerate the process of your growth and expansion, you want to be affecting both. Now, if you affect one, it affects the other. If you are peeling away the layers of the contents of your mind, everything within you that is resisting or in conflict with your desired intentions, you're affecting your vibration. If you're focused on your vibration and being consistent at being at peace or being consistent at offering joy or love, then you're going to affect the contents of your mind. But focusing on and working on one as it and allowing it to affect the other is slower. It operates slower. But if you affect both of them, if you're working on both of them at the same time, that is what really accelerates the process. But yes, you can overthink it. But again, the overthinking comes from the conditioning. The overthinking comes from the conditioning that is low vibrational, that's actually resisting and in conflict with your intentions. So you want to be working there. You want to be working to cut into that conflict, cut into the conditioning, cut into those ideas that are not serving you and supporting you in the direction that you are moving with any intention in your life, whether it's relationship as a parent, relationship as a spouse or partner, whether it's business success, whether it's health and well-being. You have conditioning that are in conflict with the highest expression of these areas and all areas of your life. that can cause you to overthink and to push because you don't feel like you see things happening the way you want them to happen, but they're trying to happen if you're being intentional, if you're trying to be in alignment, but you have the conflict, the resistance that's being expressed also from within that is countering your efforts. If this if the resistance wasn't there, you wouldn't have to try so hard. You wouldn't have to try so hard. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, in the creative process, the expectation piece is delicate because in your expecting, you can subtly be offering the absence of a thing versus the presence of a thing. That's again is another reason why people, if you're trying really hard, it's highly possible and likely that you're offering from your core the absence of a thing and not its presence. One thing you want to try to do or to look at is expect of the energies. Once you know for a fact that yes, that which I'm intending has an energy presence first and foremost, before it has a physical presence. An idea is the building of the energy structure of a thing before it is physically manifest. Each of you understand this. Your body has an energy presence that is holding the physical presence, its physical presence in place. Your planet has an energy presence that is the ground floor foundation of the physical expression, your dirt. It has an energy presence first. So expect of the energies. Expect that your intention, your idea exists, has an energy structure and energy. The more clear you get on your intention, the more detailed the energy structure is. And the more detailed and clear the energy structure is, the stronger it gets as an energy expression. And the stronger it gets as an energy expression, the collaborative components are forming. Its presence, its density is growing to the point where, until it reaches the point that you can perceive it with your physical senses. So if you're going to expect of the energy. Know that the energies are present. Know that it exists in energy. And you want to prove this to yourself over and over and over again until you get to the point where you know it. And when you know it, now you're not going to try as hard. You don't need to. You know that if you get clear on the idea, you get clear on the energy structure, and then just do whatever you're inspired to do along the lines of that idea, knowing that it's going to materialize physically. It has to, because everything is materializing from the energies. Everything is. Your life has materialized from the energies to this point through the same process. So expect of the energies, expect of the idea versus of the physical thing, because when you're expecting of the physical thing, the you can get tripped up by believing more in its absence than its presence. Because when you look outside, you don't see the car. When you look in your bank account, you don't see the money. But if you know that you are establishing its presence in energy, in the same place that holds the physical expression of your planet in place, and you know that it's true, then that's when you let it go. And you cease to effort so much. You cease to try so hard because you know that it exists. You know that it lives. And then you're letting it go because you know you're no longer offering any resistance to it. And it will breathe and be birthed physically with its own perfect timing. And you will see the collaborative components beginning to form and come about. And you will hear language conversations based on your intention. You will begin to see things show up in your awareness based on its coming. Because the evidence of the thing always begins to show up before the thing, whether it's information or physical manifestation. Evidence of the thing on approach always begin to show up before the thing actually shows up. And you want to allow this to fuel your fire of understanding and allowing also. Excellent. Excellent question. Excellent question. Anything else? It is 12:46. These are meant to be short bursts, if you will. Any other questions? All right. Awesome. 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 So again, you guys hit the like button. Hit the like button for me. That helps get this video out there, the information out there. And we will be back if you any of you are available. We will be back uh, to have the same discussion again, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And we're excited for you. We're excited for each of you. Again, if you're new, check out those free presentations in the description and connect. If that's all, we will talk to you soon. Love each of you very much.